You ever have one of those moments where you know, deep down in your gut, that something's coming and no one wants to listen? That was me, sitting in my backyard in coastal Georgia, staring at my satellite monitors as a pimple of heat off the coast of West Africa started swelling into something serious. My name's Evan Harper, former aerospace systems analyst, amateur meteorologist, and current public enemy number one of the Whispering Marsh HOA. I wasn't running some conspiracy bunker or pirate TV station. No, I had a legit setup, a custom-built 3-meter satellite dish I called the Sky Eye, rigged to stream raw, high-res data straight from European and NOAA satellites. It wasn't about watching Cablite, it was about tracking hurricanes before the news even sniffed them. I ran a blog called Evan's Forecasts. Niche, sure, but it had saved a few folks during Irma and Dorian. That dish was my pride. My early retirement fund had gone into it, every bolt and wire personally installed by me and Gus, my contractor buddy with a mouth like a sailor and hands like a surgeon. But Whispering Marsh wasn't the kind of place that liked originality. The whole neighborhood looked like someone dipped a row of homes in the same shade of beige. Same hedges, same garage lights, even the same dang mailbox flags. And leading the charge to keep everything perfectly dull was Madeline Strickland, president of the HOA, retired interior designer and full-time dictator of curb appeal. I swear, the woman could spot an unapproved birdbath at 100 yards. She showed up one afternoon while I was trimming my hibiscus, already armed with a clipboard and that polite but deadly smile. "Mr. Harper," she said, gesturing toward my roofline with her pen, "we've received complaints about an unsightly fixture." I didn't even have to look. I knew she was talking about the Sky Eye. I tried explaining calmly, even showed her a screenshot of the heat bloom over the Atlantic. Told her I wasn't just some weirdo with a dish. I was providing early warnings to real people who depended on accurate data. She nodded, then said something that still makes my skin crawl. "We have the Weather Channel, Mr. Harper. That should suffice for all residents." A week later, I got a violation notice. Bylaw 18, Section B. No aerial structures over 1.1 meters in diameter. It was a joke. That bylaw was written to keep people from putting up old satellite TV dishes from the 90s. I appealed, attaching a full technical breakdown of the Sky Eye, highlighting that it was meteorological equipment, not entertainment hardware. Her reply? A printout of my own document, with the phrase, "It's a dish," scribbled across the front in red Sharpie. The HOA gave me 14 days to remove it. After that, it was $150 per day in fines. Thing was, during those same 14 days, that little swirl of heat I'd been watching started spinning. Then it got a name, Hurricane Myra. The news said it was harmless. My data said otherwise. Sea temps were climbing, sheer winds were fading, and a pressure ridge was boxing Myra in like a bowling alley bumper. She wasn't turning north. She was coming right for us. I posted a warning on my blog. Official forecasts are asleep. Myra has other plans. It caught fire in the weather nerd community. But here in Whispering Marsh, I was still just the guy with the eyesore. On the morning of day 15, I sat down at my desk, coffee in hand, ready to refresh my models. And everything was dead. No data. Just a blinking red message, signal lost. My stomach sank. I ran outside, barefoot, heart pounding. The cables from the dish to the house fiber optics, coaxial, had been severed. Clean cuts. Not squirrels. Not weather. Human hands. And taped to the Sky Eye's base was a laminated HOA card, final notice. Unsanctioned structure deactivated per bylaw 28. They hadn't waited. They didn't even knock. I called the cops, shaking. Told them it was vandalism, destruction of private property. The officers showed up, Rogers and Bell, familiar faces around here. They took one look, nodded slowly, then told me it was a civil matter. Since I was a member of the HOA, and they had sent notices, and the equipment was technically a violation, it wasn't a crime. "You can sue," Officer Rogers said, rubbing his temple. but we can't arrest someone for enforcing a bylaw you agreed to when you bought the house. That night, Myra went from Cat 2 to Cat 3 in 12 hours. The official models finally started wobbling west, but by then it was too late. I had no dish, no data, no early warning. Gus came over, looked at the damage, and sighed. Man, this was surgical. They used a fiber cleaver. HOA must have hired someone who knew what they were doing. He could fix it, sure, but the part was German-made. 2 weeks minimum, even if customs didn't slow it down. Meanwhile, the storm was barreling toward us. Gus offered a workaround, a janky splice he wouldn't dare try himself, but talked me through it. So I did it. Under cover of night, dressed like a cat burglar in my own yard, I tried to MacGyver the dish back to life. Sweat pouring, hands shaking, I was mid-bypass when a floodlight hit me like a police spotlight. It was Madeline, in silk pajamas, on her back porch, with her phone to her ear. Yes, officer, it's Madeline Strickland. Lot 34. Mr. Harper is tampering again. The cops showed up. Same ones. This time, they gave me a written warning for trespassing on HOA-maintained easement space. The next day, Myra hit hard. She came in screaming. Wind howled like a freight train. Rain pounded like fists on the windows. The power went out. My backup generator kicked in, but it was no use. The dish was still down. I was blind. Then, just past 2 a.m., the phone rang. Caller ID, Madeline Strickland. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. She was crying. Evan, she said, voice trembling, my roof. It's gone. Water's coming in. What do I do? I took a long breath. Then I became what I always wanted to be, someone who could help. Get to an interior room. No windows. Grab towels. Block the doors. Stay away from the garage. She listened. She stayed on the line. For an hour, I was her guide through the storm. Me, the neighborhood eyesore. The rebel with the dish. When dawn broke, Whispering Marsh was in ruins. Fences down. Lawns underwater. Roofs torn apart. But something else had broken too. The illusion of control. Madeline found me 2 days later, mud on her boots, no binder in hand. Just a plate of lemon bars and eyes that finally saw me. I was wrong, she said. About the dish. About you. About everything. 2 months later, Gus installed Sky Eye 2.0. Bigger. Stronger. Unapologetic. Madeline came by, pointed to the dish, then asked, "Will you show me how it works?" I did, because it wasn't about proving her wrong anymore. It was about proving that when you strip away the beige rules and the fear of difference, people can change. Even Madeline. But the storm didn't teach her that. Truth did. Let me ask you, in your own community, who gets to decide what matters, the bylaws, or the people who dare to look ahead? Drop a comment below. Have you ever had to stand your ground when no one believed you? Have you ever watched a storm roll in, knowing you were right all along? Because sometimes, all it takes to change a neighborhood is one dish, one storm, and one person who refuses to look away.